Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Yvardsaga. I wanted to talk with you a little bit about our Patreon community, because Patreon is really important to us. It enables me to do what I love to do and provide you all the quality writing content that I do. If you're not familiar with Patreon, it's a paid membership service that enables you to sign up and directly support creative endeavors or artists that you feel passionate about and that you want to see succeed. And the way it works is anybody who sets up a Patreon, me or a painter that you know, or somebody that creates really high quality, everyday releasing videos on YouTube, they all have tiered memberships. And these tiers are different levels of engagement and reward for you as a patron for being involved in financially supporting the project. So for us here, there are several different tiers, and I want to break down for you real quick what each tier does and what the benefits are. So that way you can better understand them, because I think it's important if you want to sign up for a tiered membership with Yvardsaga, I want you to know what you're signing up for and what you can expect. So the way our tier system works on Yvardsaga with Patreon is your benefits that you get. If you ever want to increase your tier level of membership, you retain your same benefits. There are very few exceptions, but it's a cascading effect. So the more involved you want to be in the patron community, you retain all the benefits you knew and loved before. So starting out, we have the villager tier. This is just the base. You want to be involved and just show your support for what we do, and that is awesome. If you want to be a villager tier, I am so grateful for you. What you get as a villager is the satisfaction of knowing you make my day, and our database for Evard that's online, the world wiki, if you will, has a lot of public content, but there's a lot of patron exclusive content as well. And the villager tier unlocks that for you. You can access everything that's available to the public and to patrons with just the simple villager tier. And that's all it is. It's pretty straightforward. You don't have to worry about doing stuff outside of your leisurely reading. But above that is the City Guard tier. With City Guard, you have, again, all of the patron access to content on Yvardsaga. That is universal in all of our tiers. But with the City Guard, you also gain access to our Discord server and a few private channels on that server. So you can be involved in chatting with other fans if you prefer to do so on Discord instead of in the database itself. You have your name mentioned in the database's patron roster. With involving the community at higher tiers, you have the ability to suggest content for Evard, whether that's a character concept you really like, or a small village somewhere that you think has a few unique quirks that would fit really well in one part of the world. As a city guard, you don't quite make it to being able to pitch those ideas. However, you get to help decide, because every month we have a vote on what ideas you think would best suit Evard and what you would like to see filled in the gaps in this entire planet that we're creating from scratch. So even though you can't necessarily put in your ideas, you are still shaping the way the world develops. And also as a city guard, you gain access to exclusive patron access to me for question and answers about anything you read in the database or manage to figure out by some other means. Past the City Guard, we have the Merchant tier. Merchant tier still has Discord benefits. Eventually, I'm hoping to do live streaming, and the Merchant tier will have access to that. Currently, live streaming doesn't work for me because I have really rural internet that is not always super reliable, but we're figuring out solutions. At the Merchant tier, you can suggest content for patron polls, like I mentioned before. That's the big thing that separates the Merchant from the City Guard, is having access to suggesting content for those polls. The next level we have is the Noble tier of membership. If you are a game master for any kind of tabletop role-playing group like D&D or Pathfinder, whatever game system you like to run, that's how Yvard got started, was for a tabletop RPG campaign, and it's just grown since. Or if you just enjoy world building as a creative exercise, either way, I would love to hear from you. And with a Noble tier membership, you have direct access to me to ask my assistance, or to give you feedback, or help you brainstorm ideas for your game or your world. And a great time to do that is a one-on-one phone call with me at least once a month that you have in this tier. We can talk about Yvard, we can talk about your world and your game. We can talk about nothing at all. We can just shoot the breeze and see what happens. Our final tier of membership is the Pharrellian Crafter. So Pharrellia in Yvard is one of the big nations of the world, and it's basically a trade-based nation. All of the finest crafters in the world are invited by the merit of their trade to become citizens in Pharrellia. It's a big place full of the world's best at whatever they make or do. And the Pharrellian Crafter tier, I really wanted to reflect that. So in addition to everything else you've heard so far for benefits, a Pharrellian Crafter also has one monthly content contribution to Yvard with no poll required. So you don't have to worry about, does your idea get voted on in this month's poll? If you have an awesome character that you really want to see roaming the wilds, or a really cool bar that has a bunch of seedy secrets tucked into an underbelly of one of the big cities, you can just say it exists. And as long as it doesn't conflict with anything already in the world, it's there. Also included in this is, if you are interested in role-playing or interacting with any of the characters of Yvard, or even just exploring the setting, not even really playing a tabletop role-playing game, but if you want to interact with the world, I will dedicate time with you and actually give you an experience. If you have a character you want to portray yourself as, we can talk about it beforehand. If you want to just be yourself, I will narrate Yvard as you explore it and interact with it in a text-based fashion. And that's something my players of the games in Yvard really seem to like. And that's something that I take a lot of pride in and have a lot of fun with. And I want to extend that offer to my Pharrellian Crafter tiers, because that level of support is mind-blowing to me. So those are our levels of membership for Yvardsaga if you decide to support us and join us on Patreon. It is an involved community that I am very dedicated to giving the best of my attentions. And I am very excited for anybody who even considers signing up. And if you take the leap, I cannot thank you enough. This is a big undertaking, and your involvement and emotional support alone makes all the difference to me. So thanks for checking in, everybody. I hope this makes some of the questions of Patreon a little more clear. And yeah, I hope to see you there. Or if Patreon doesn't work for you right now, that's okay. Just check us out on Yvardsaga Facebook page. And then in the description down below, I will include the link to the world database so that you can get to know this world that I'm so passionate to share with you. And who knows, maybe someday down the road, you might get a chance to walk there yourself. Stay tuned. There's more to follow.